Hello, my name's Emily Henderson and I'm the head teacher for early years and primary at the British School of Barcelona at Sitges campus. I'm delighted to share with you today something that's at the heart of our school improvement plan for the next 3 years, and that is hard thinking. I'm really excited to tell you what that means in our classrooms and what that really means for your children. So to start with, what is hard thinking? Well, let's start with what we know is happening in the classroom every day. That is that your children are thinking. They're learning new information, they're answering questions, they're showing their understanding. But what we're looking for is something that goes a little bit deeper than this. Hard thinking is finding that desirable difficulty, that sweet spot in a lesson for all children. We don't want lessons to be so easy that children really aren't engaging in thinking, but we also don't want it to be so hard that they feel really overwhelmed or anxious about the learning that's taking place. So what does this actually look like in reality for your children? Well, that depends on the age and stage that they're in. So if we take 4 and 5-year-olds in our early years department, I want you to imagine them coming into school and seeing their favourite toy frozen in a block of ice. Rather than taking the children and showing them how to free it, our teachers will step back and they'll allow your children to work out the solution to that problem. In our primary classrooms, a teacher might be showing the children a new mathematical method without really explaining what they're doing along the way. They might then ask the children to work together to see if they can reason and explain what's happened rather than simply instructing them step by step. Then think about a secondary classroom. So imagine in a history lesson, children are given a range of historical sources and asked to debate which they feel is the single most important factor in causing a historical event. The children there have to have an argument ready. They need to listen to their participants and the other children that they're speaking against. They need to revise and adapt what they believe according to what they're hearing. So I want you to think now about all these examples I've given and why these are so important. Well, here, the children haven't just been learning new information and answering questions. They've been doing so much more. They've been making connections. They have been thinking hard and rationalising what they believe. And along the way, they've probably also been making mistakes. And these mistakes, these are absolutely essential. We see that they are critical in the learning process because when children make mistakes and learn how to overcome them, not only are they deepening their level of understanding, but they're also building critical resilience and skills that prepare them so well for the future. So how are we making this happen in the classroom? Critically, there are certain things that we can be working on with our teachers, things that they have more control over in their lessons. So the first thing that we're working on is our classroom culture, really making sure we have environments for children where they understand the routines and the expectations, what's wanted of them in terms of their amount of participation, and critically, we want classrooms where effort is really celebrated. Next is lesson design, how our teachers plan lessons to incorporate inquiry, questioning, problem solving, reasoning, getting children really thinking throughout the course of a lesson. Next is structured thinking, really making sure that we are giving children enough wait time and thinking time to come up with the best possible answer. Thinking through, are we making our children think on their own or are we making them think together as part of a group? And how are we making sure that we are hearing that thinking from each and every child in our classroom? Next, and really importantly, we're thinking about how we are teaching your children actually how to think. Sometimes we need to provide vocabulary for your children, or we might need to create sentence stems to encourage them to use. We want them to be really active and proactive in talk and debate and discussion throughout a lesson. We're not going to just take an answer superficially. We're going to ask them to reason and explain how they've got to that answer. And our teachers are going to probe to try and encourage a little bit more wonder in your children. Next is student agency. It's really important that we are teaching your children how to critique one another, how to reflect on their own learning, how to make connections beyond just the lesson you're in to lessons that they've had before, other subjects that they've been learning about, to really deepen their understanding so that they're prepared for so much more than simply an exam at the end of their year. And finally, and perhaps critically, it's personalisation. A strength of teachers at BSB is their ability to really know and understand each and every child in the classroom through really great assessment. If we know where each child is on their journey, we can really plan to achieve that moment of manageable struggle for them so that learning becomes really meaningful for every child in the classroom. In an age where we have outsourced thinking and the world of AI is about us, there is no more important a time to stress to your children that actually them doing this hard thinking and them always engaging critically in the world and what's around them is absolutely essential. We see that pushing hard thinking in the classroom not only gives your children the very best educational experience, but it also prepares them for the world in the future. Thank you.